And it is one of the most extraordinary gifts that life can give us. When the mind becomes one-pointed and quiet, reality appears. And only when reality appears do you understand that you are constantly being distorted. It's like you were short-sighted and then you put glasses that are perfect and now you see, oh, okay, now I see perfectly. What happens when consciousness becomes a dot? When consciousness becomes a dot, the most extraordinary and important process of human existence takes place. The scattering of the mind in constant agitation stops when consciousness remains still at one point. One-pointed mind, one-pointed consciousness. Patajali calls it Dharana in the end of the second chapter of the Yoga Sutra. The constant mental agitation projects reality from up downwards. You can see great research from Professor Hoffman and Anil Seth about this. And that agitation creates a buffer between our perception of the world, our perception of our emotions, and our perception of ourselves. And we are constantly experiencing something distorted. When the mind becomes one-pointed and quiet, reality appears. And only when reality appears do you understand that you are constantly being distorted. It's like you were short-sighted and then you put glasses that are perfect and now you see, oh, okay, now I see perfectly. And when the mind becomes one-pointed and silent, perception becomes extraordinarily clear and reality appears as it is. Glorious, sacred, deep, extraordinary. You see, consciousness by its nature, reading the scriptures as is described in the Tantra Loka and in other texts, consciousness by its nature expands. But then mental agitation contracts it. When the mind becomes one-pointed, the process of mental agitation, egoism, and all that comes from that is paralyzed. It is stopped. And that process needs to be done very precisely and very gently in a very relaxed way, with some skill. But once that happens and the agitation is paralyzed, and the mind is extremely sharp, consciousness is extremely bright, focusing on one point, the process of contracting consciousness stops. And then the expansion of consciousness, which is all the time happen, remains as the sole power. And in that process of expansion of consciousness, actual knowledge appears. And in a few seconds, 1 or 2 seconds, all the emotional turmoil stops. And there's a tremendous relief, a peace, a depth. And that one-pointedness that can be trained is the birthright of every human being. To be able to see truth in all its peace, in all its glory, in all its sacredness, and not just to see our own mind with its own projections and patterns all the time. This one-pointed mind can be trained. It takes some time to train, it takes some skill, it takes some self-love, some perseverance, a lot of repetition, but it is doable. And it is one of the most extraordinary gifts that life can give us. If you like this video and want to learn more about Tantra, about yoga, about psychology, emotional healing, lives of saints and the scriptures,
then hit the bell, like, subscribe, and you'll never miss an upload. Thank you so much.